Hello, this is Gerald Tuovermans. The way how we hear sounds, uh, usually won't give you a lot of associations. But anyhow, when tones go up, go down, when you have certain intonations, we should realize actually that we are really dealing with these things, and they give us an idea in which direction to go or how to interpret things. So this is quite conscious as well, but also certain tones they can be understood very quickly in a very short time. Other ones you have to follow it during a certain time and so on. They have features, and we follow these features. And actually, all the words that we use letters that have the elements that we need to describe them as well. There's a whole method behind it that is followed automatically, as real as up and down, and recognizing something which is nearby or which is moving. There are differences that we deal with, and the whole system of the difference of all the letters, they are built up during a certain time. I don't know how conscious this was built up, but it follows the rules, kind of 1 2 3 rule. And here before you can have a very simple description actually of the kinds of letters or kinds of association that we make with letters. And some letters are really followed up in a very direct way, and they are all about close by, quite physical, direct positions before you, described in a couple of variations that make up about 9 letters. Other things are these kinds of tones that move, and you hear something changing and so on, and they are about changing things, about moving things. And there are also a couple of letters which are more difficult to pinpoint really at a certain point or at a certain direction, because the next level was about directions. This is more like, okay, you are aware of it, but they play along on the background as a kind of continuous influence. There are also kind of letters there. It's another category, 3 kinds of categories, and together you can analyze words that use these letters as descriptions in various ways. There are descriptions how they describe the form as well. Even with just a few letters, you can already find out that a certain form fits within certain conditions that are described with letters. But it's also your behavior that is expected from you to go towards these positions are also described with these letters. I'm not going to go too deep into that aspect in this video, but I will take the word brick as a physical object and show you how it is described actually with its conditions and with its positions. Let's go to brick. And actually the first letter is from the first category, so we are focusing upon the things that are realized as a physical reference. Somewhere in space, a physical reference with a kind of fixed point. It's at the second level. That means that something is changing there, so it is a bit further away from the center. It is, you are aware that it is breaching actually the center point of vision, and that's where the B is. You have that position there from the B. Combined with the R means that we combine it with the letter from the last category, which I resume here. I will not tell you how I come to that, but that's one of these elements that are working in the background, and they are describing actually a continuation, a movement which is continuous and which we connect to at that point. So something is continuous. It's there for a longer time, and we see in a way that there is a connection possible. So we connect to it that something can be, let's say, brought to a function or a certain function in time and space for a certain while, for a certain time aspect, at a certain place and a certain time. That's working in the background, and that's the letter R. So it is making a connection, and it's of course making a connection at that point of B. So there are always two aspects with the R. It's connecting to it and it's connecting from it. The way you can use the letter B, how it is pressing a form out of its center point vision to something bigger with in the same from the same area. We connect to it. What do we connect to it? How do we connect to it? It's with the letter E. The letter E is usually now resumed as it is from the last category. It is in that last category also are realizing that that you have to limit your focus a little bit into a frame where you can say, okay, here I have the application of a definition in a certain limited time in a limited place where I can say, okay, here I can apply it. I can apply it somewhere else as well. I can apply it at different places, but I know what kind of application it is, and I insert that application at that point. So I find an application. Yes, I can find that thing over there, but it can be at different places, at different timings. The brick, of course, we know how it looks like. It is this here we have a three-dimensional view as well. There is the B in it, the pressed in physicality with the E, then as well completely pressed in and connected to a certain place. With the R it connects. With the C at the end it is, you have the C and the K combined, so the C is always at the surface somewhere, so you're looking at the surface somewhere and you try to distinct it there, that there is at the surface something that you can measure into a couple of directions where it is possible that you can use it. And the K breaks it really like, okay, here's the end of it. There will be a sort of separation there, but we know of course that the brick will be used also as separate forms as well. That's how it is used within that connecting area, which is also the cement, by the way. You can associate it very easily. It's not a definition of it, but it's like, okay, we can imagine it. Okay, it's within that area where it connects to a certain place, connects into a certain place, at a certain place, at a certain point where we can use it. With the separate possibilities, of course, where you can connect from and connect to, is also quite easily associated from there. What did I do beforehand? I wanted to have a different kind of videos, not always starting from my background scheme. So I wanted to see how I design it. I can see it immediately, but I don't know how to do that from this moment that you can immediately see me draw and see me connect the dots from the scheme. So I take the scheme out again, so it's the B position in my scheme, how it is built up, how it theoretically is built up. It is in that position where in a diagonal way it is expanding. So in that way, there it is at the surface. So it's there where you have the B. There will start our word in a physical reality. It will also connect with R, so there will be a connection, and this connection of R is about, there's a behavior there, so I have to perform a certain behavior. I connect to it, put it into a certain frame where I can follow it up. It's basically the R. And after that, I have to add the letter E. So E is okay, and I also will find an application at a certain timed position, a position and a timing. Here it is correct. Here I can apply that, connecting to it, and so on, at that right in that right frame. And then you can put the bricks, of course, with the C at the surface, where you can see at the surface how you control it, and with the K breaking it into the separate entities. Actually, it's from here until there, and that's a good position where I can place my bricks. Basically, it's describing quite well what the brick is. I also designed very quickly the word brei, which means mush. So even in this connecting area, you can have the idea of as a kind of mush that is there, where you can put the brick in, this sticky mess as well, that where yeah, where the it can be described with that word as well. I just added that as an extra bonus. But I think brick will be clear enough what it means as a form. How we connect to it is, of course, also in a way I described it already. So there are certain conditions. There's a definition with certain conditions, and we deal with these conditions. Okay, that's like I measure it. That okay, how is it at a very good position? I put it here in a position where I make that connection. Then the next one. So here I have a couple of bricks into a certain positions that fit in that area where I'm focusing upon. It's all described in the letters. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. There's some books to prepare you if you want to get used to the whole method and learn it yourself. So it's not only about forms, but I started from forms, so how the forms come forward from its positions and from its balanced out letters. But you can also go to how do we describe our behavior towards the words. It's all within that definition of the combined letters. Thanks again for watching. Bye.